welcome to the final episode of the AusMoto Show for 2023. It has been a massive year in our world of motorcycle racing, and we have some excellent guests to wrap it all up. All right, let's crack in. Coming up on today's show, one of the world's top off-road racers making his return down under from the FIM Enduro GP World Championship, Daniel Milner is in the studio with some exclusive news for the AusMoto Show. Speaking of news from the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores, the back-to-back Easy Lift MXW champion Charli joins us with her big news for 2024. We'll catch up on the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul at the Bend for the final round's highlights. And last but certainly not least, the recently crowned 2023 ASBK Superbike champion joins us. It's Penrite Honda's Troy Herfoss. A massive show ahead. Remember to follow along using the handle and hashtag AusMoto Show. All right, first up in the studio, former FIM world champion. He's making an exciting return to Australia. It's Daniel Milner. Daniel, welcome to the show and welcome home. How good is it to be back down under?
Thanks for having me on the show. And yeah, it's home. It's home. That's all I can say pretty much. It's you never realise how good we have it here at home until you go overseas and spend a bit of time over there and then come back.
So before we jump into this year and Europe and racing, tell us about the big exclusive news that we have on the program today.
Yeah, I've partnered back up with KTM, which is pretty exciting. You know, before I went to Europe, I was with the brand here for 5 years, from 17 to 21. So yeah, it's not just coming home, it's coming home to a brand that I know and enjoy riding, and yeah, partnering up with them and running my own setup for next year's program.
So tell us about this year, because you're a 9-time AORC champion, you're a 5-time Australian 4-day Enduro champion. You basically won everything under the sun in Australia. Are you back for some motocross perhaps, or perhaps you're moving into ASBK? What are the goals?
To be honest, we'll go back to AORCs and continue racing them. It'll be cool to boost that up a little bit. You know, COVID kind of made it go on a little bit of a different path. So we're trying to, yeah, kind of get everyone back into the sport that kind of left it. Then also the new GNCC championship that's starting up. I'm pretty excited to give that a go. I was in America racing the GNCCs for 2 years in 15 and 16. So I really enjoyed that format of racing, and pretty cool to, well, pretty excited to be honest to have a go of it over here in Australia. And then yeah, the 4-day and the big one, Hatter. That's obviously one of the most enjoyable races I believe here in Australia, and always love going there and you know, the atmosphere on the Friday night before and everything else. So yeah, excited to get back out there and give it another go.
All right, let's get into the year that was. You've been in Europe, obviously, racing in the FIM Enduro GP World Championship and the Italian Enduro Championship. How was it? You got some pretty decent results.
Yeah, I had some not bad results, but it was definitely an eye-opener. I was on Italian branded bike, so that was it was something different to what I'd normally been on, but also it was quite exciting, and to see how it was all ran over there. And you know, the races, they have 3 different special tests, sometimes 4 depending on where it was, and it was always an extreme test, enduro test, and a cross test. And then yeah, the Italian championship was that was pretty crazy, to be honest. I don't think the whole 2 years of me being over there doing it, we rode on soil. It was pretty much rock the whole time. So that was a massive eye opener, but also quite enjoyable and fun to try.
I mean, it's the dream for so many people to go overseas and race. Just how different was everything?
Yeah, it was definitely an eye opener with the culture and also the food, and me being a type 1 diabetic, it was quite difficult to you know, track that with the food over there. You know, pizza and pasta is probably not the best diet for that. So yeah, we got over pizza and pasta quite quick and learnt where to get the healthy, you know, the fruits and veggies and stuff like that, and kind of cook, I guess, a more Australian style feed. And
you mentioned diabetes. Obviously, that's been a huge element of your life and your racing career. It just adds that really complex factor to to racing, and I think we were chatting about it. We don't really know any other people that have been racing at your level dealing with diabetes. How did all that play out over there? I know, say, with other races, you've had to have 2 Camelbacks with like apple juice and water. Talk us through that a little bit.
What I do, I run a monitor, Dexcom it's called, and it sits in my stomach and it Bluetooths to the screen, Bluetooths to this little monitor that I actually run in my bar pad. And I can see what it's doing while I'm out there on trail. Like if it's obviously in the special test, it's kind of, you can't look at it or anything like that. You're going pretty hard, but they're normally around 8 minutes or something like that. But on trail where it's a bit more cruisy, you can have a look down and see what you need to do. And pretty much I had a follow rider over there that followed me from test to test. So if I did need sugar or food or something like that, he had it in his backpack and could supply me.
Wow, that's complex, right?
Yeah, it's quite busy, but yeah, I'd definitely say it's more difficult with the 3 hours and them long events where, you know, we have to run the two bladder camel packs, one with juice to get the sugars up if I need it, or or the water. It's definitely more stressful.
Yeah, well, we've got a beautiful orange machine behind you. Talk us through the 450 EXCF, probably a bit different to ones that you've been on before.
Yeah.
Because I think when we saw you last was 2021, you were on a 500.
Yep.
So tell us what you think about this new bike, and have you thrown a leg over? Have you had a ride?
To be honest, I'm up here now in Sydney picking it up, so I haven't got to ride it yet. But it's it's a completely new bike. The 24 is different to what I'd been on the previous years. So to be honest, I'm quite excited to get it out there and get on it and start doing the testing. And obviously, the last 2 years I've been on an alloy frame. So going back to the metal frame, we're going to have to play around with suspension and just get the right setup, which normally on the KTM brand previous, it's been quite easy. So I'm definitely excited to start riding it and get a feel for it again, and then come out swinging at racing next year.
Oh, mate, I don't think I would want to be in your classes for the many competitions that you are going to enter next year. What do you think about the competition that is out there at the moment? Have you been following AIC? Yeah,
I have been following it since I was over there. It's it's been quite good, and to see the talent, Kyron Bacon, he's riding really fast, and he also come over and did the last couple of GPs and put in some really solid results. I think he won his class at the last one, and then also he was quite high up in the outright. So obviously I've got him to compete against Kyron, so that'll be fun. And it's funny because he always shows me this photo of one of the 4 days back in 15 it was, down in Tassie. And he was just a little kid. I remember him like he was down here, and now he's the bigger kid that's actually giving it to me. So it's awesome to see, and it was awesome that I obviously gave him motivation back then, and to get him to where he is now. And then I think there's a lot of talent with Andy and Jonty. He's riding really fast, so. I'm excited to come back and race with them guys, and they'll be pushing me along and vice versa, and hopefully we can lift the level up here in Australia again, and when we do go over to 6 days and over into the world stuff, we can really give it to the rest of the world and be on top like we used to be.
Thank you so much for joining us, Daniel. It's been excellent to have you on the show. We wish you the best of luck with your new chapter with KTM.
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right, do not go anywhere, because coming up after the break, we have ProMX, MXWs, Charli Cannon, and the recent ASBK Superbike champion winner, Troy Herfoss. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. Our next guest shot onto the ProMX scene like a bat out of hell. She is destined for big things in Australia, but also overseas. Please welcome to the studio, Charli Cannon. Charli, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kate, for having me.
Now, let's talk about this red situation. You have signed for Honda. Massive news for 2024. Tell us about the partnership.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've signed with Honda. I'm very excited for the new year and all the opportunities to come, and new team, new colours, new teammates.
Yeah, fully. Well, that's it. I mean, new team, new program, new mechanics, new bike. How is all of that going? A lot to wrap your head around.
It is. I spent a week down with the whole team testing bike, and immediately when I jumped on it, I felt very comfortable. The whole team were very great at making sure I felt comfortable and making sure I loved the bike and the setup, and yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm feeling good, so I'm keen to, get on the red machine.
So this year has obviously been massive for you. You won your second Easy Lift MXW championship, headed over for MXGP, did some MX2 in Australia, and you turned 18. I mean, it was so much on your plate. Do you feel like did you see yourself progress from the start of the year to where you are now?
Definitely. It was a busy year, so many cool experiences. Definitely traveling around Europe, racing the MXGP, I learnt a lot. I learnt how the riders train over there, the programs, how intense the racing is, and I brought a lot of knowledge back to Australia. And with all the traveling, I found it a bit hard to keep a consistent riding programs. I didn't feel like I got enough riding time, but I got a lot of racing, and I'm just happy I got another Easy Lift WMX championship under my belt.
100%. Yeah. So 2024, you're kicking off in a pretty big way. You've got the FIM Oceania Women's Motocross Cup. Tell us a little bit about it, because it is a totally new concept.
Very excited for this one, as it's like Australia versus New Zealand type of race. We 5 or 6 girls from Australia head over to New Zealand, and we compete against the New Zealand races and Courtney Duncan, who's the women's world champion. So we're really excited for that, and should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, a very fierce competition. Although it must be so exciting to go over and represent Team Australia. I mean, what an honour.
Yeah, it's always awesome to represent Australia everywhere we go. So hopefully we do well, and we've got some great female races in Australia, so pretty confident.
And of course, Charli, we head back into ProMX, the Easy Lift MXW Championship. You're defending your title. We've got 4 rounds for the girls this year. Are you ready to get in there and send it for another championship win?
Of course, that's my goal, to try and get another Australian WMX championship. We have 4 rounds, and I think they're at different tracks this year, so I'm excited to race different tracks. There won't be a Coolum round anymore, which is pretty sad. It's my home track. It's quite sandy, but it'll be exciting with new tracks on the calendar.
What else is on the cards that you can tell us about for 2024? Obviously, you made it over to MXGP last year. I think I heard you mention a little bit about the US.
Yeah, so next year I will be going over to the US to race the Loretta Lynn's amateur event, and do a few area qualifiers. So I'll be going over there for, I think, 2 trips, staying at MTF, riding there, and competing at Loretta Lynn's.
Massive. And back for MXGP as well?
Yes, we're trying to get a few rounds of the MXGP in, so we'll just see what rounds don't clash with the Australian racing. But hopefully we can get at least 1 MXGP WMX race in.
So Charli, tell us about the Honda motorcycle that you are going to be riding for 2024.
Yeah, so I'll be riding a CRF 250. I've had a few rides on it so far, and I loved it straight away. I'm very excited to now be home and get training under my belt, and just have some time on the bike to get used to it all, because yeah, it's a new bike, new feel, but I'm very excited to jump on it and just have fun.
Well, I hope you get a little bit of downtime for Christmas, because next year is going to be massive. Thank you for joining us, Charli.
Thank you for having me.
And don't you go anywhere, because coming up we have the 2023 ASBK Superbike champion, Troy Herfoss, joining us on Zoom. See you soon.
We have come down to the wire in the Allstars Superbike Club, who are on equal points for the first time ever.
First and second up for grabs, so is third, fourth and fifth in the championship. Superbikes are go. Will be Herfoss, Waters and Max Stoker that go through turn one. Jones is up to fifth, but off fourth position as well. And Troy Herfoss gets great drive. He's probably pulled a couple of bike legs on Waters as they come out of there. Can Waters make it up through this very tricky section? We're getting down towards the dying stages of this race. Crew Halliday desperate to try to fire way past his teammate Mike Jones.
This man on the Penrite Honda is just riding pinpoint perfectly accurate at the moment.
And he comes out of the final corner and he heads to the checkered flag now. Herfoss will take victory and first points in the battle for the 2023 championship. Waters finishes 0.2 of a second behind as they come across the line for the final time this year. Superbikes are go. And it's Stoker up into third position behind Josh Waters, who leads them through turn one for the first time, and Herfoss in second. Max
That's
Stoker.
Stauffer down, and that's the sort of thing that can catch a rider out. It could have, taken Herfoss out. That's the sort of thing. Herfoss needs to stay out of trouble. Going for it, and he's made it through.
Takes the race lead. He's going to put in a few fast laps now.
No! Waters is down.
Waters is down. Turn 6.
Absolute devastating blow for Waters there.
Waving to the crowd now, Troy Herfoss. He knows he's got this one in the bag. It is Troy Herfoss on board the Penrite Honda, signing off from Penrite Honda at the end of this year and joining the 3 times champion club. Gives the bike a bit of a pat as he comes around through the final corner. It is Herfoss. He comes to the line. He makes it 2 wins from 2 starts in the final round of the championship. Pulls it up into a stand-up over the line celebration. Thanks for coming, Troy Herfoss. You are the 2023 Hi-Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike champion in the Alpine Stars Superbike category.
Wow, an insane finale where all the ASBK championships came down to the wire, including the Alpine Stars Superbikes. But there could only be one winner, one champion, and he joins us from sunny Queensland right now on Zoom. Please welcome Penrite Honda's Troy Herfoss. Herf, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kate. It's great to be here.
You are now a 3-time ASBK Superbike champion, joining the exclusive 3-timer club, joining people like Glenn Allerton, Josh Waters, Wayne Maxwell, Sean Giles. How is that digesting?
What a feeling. Yeah, I've been chasing this 3rd championship for a long time. And yeah, I mean, the weekend just went so perfectly. I haven't really had a chance to think about the fact that I'm 3-time champion now, but just this championship's enough for me. I had so much fun out there on the weekend, and just the way it all ended was really a dream for me.
It was a totally different Herf to the previous round. You arrived on equal points with your championship rival Josh Waters, but you're on fire from the moment you arrived. You set that blistering record-breaking pole position lap. It was just, you were just quick from the get-go. Talk us through the strategy and the approach to this championship decider.
Yeah, going into Talon Bend, equal on points. It's all on the line, and I think them races throughout the year with Jonesy, they just set me up really well for that situation. I've had to fight for every victory I've had this year. The weekend was the first time in a long time that I've been in the last lap with a handy lead and able to just enjoy it. Usually it's pretty stressful going to the last corner, but yeah, I could talk about the weekend all day long. It was so much fun. I just felt like every time I got on the bike, I could push my bike to the absolute limit and do it within a safe sort of way, and that showed in the races, I think.
So 10 years with Penrite Honda, you've announced that you are leaving, and you wrapped it up with a fairy tale weekend at the Bend, winning everything. What did this championship mean to you and the team, and what was it like in the garage, in the truck after that podium?
It was so weird going to the weekend, and I guess I dropped a little bit of a bombshell, announcing I was going to depart from the team, and like I said to everyone at the time, and it is, I'm leaving on the best possible terms, and I just feel like we've had such a good run together, and I just wanted to go out on top, really, and then when we got to the weekend and the dust had settled a little bit, and we got into the job at hand, and it all went so perfectly. We sat down in the truck afterwards, and the whole team was just like, "Wow, that's it! It's all over now," and just all the best thoughts you can think of. We're all so happy. Few tears shed, and some thoughts of, oh no, what have I done? But it's hard, isn't it? you're a lot of the time in this sport you get forced out of it, and I feel like I'm really lucky to have called it time with a great team and then be able to finish like we did. It was just it was like a fairy tale for us.
If I told you after your massive crash in Darwin 2021, when you're going through rehab at the end of 2023, you would win your third ASBK Superbike title, what would you say to me then? Talk us through a bit of that journey.
If you had asked me straight after the accident, a week or two after, I would have said, yeah, no problem. But yeah, when I got myself up and going and we started that sort of first full-time season in 2022, it just hit me so hard. You know, I started last row of the grid at Phillip Island. I had no confidence. I was literally scared of the bike. I was scared of the people around me. I was just scared, and I was really weak and really not ready to be back on a motorbike. But I just felt like I needed to, because like I said, you're so replaceable in this sport, and just thankful that Dion and the whole Penrite Honda team persisted with me. Because man, it was a pretty tough journey. Like I made life very difficult for everyone, I'm sure, in that team at stages. And luckily for me, they believed in me, you know, through all that. And I managed to hang on to that ride after a pretty average year in 2022. And we come out this year, and at the start of this year, especially after Phillip Island, if you had have mentioned championships, I was talking about it, but I don't know if I believed it in myself. But here we are. Like when we got through Morgan Park and we come out of there with the lead, I sort of had to sit back and reflect on it all, because it's been a big few years for me, and that's probably what's drawn me to that sort of point where I want to finish up with the team, just because, you know, it can all end pretty quick, and to do it on my terms and at the top of my game, I think it's best for everyone.
And how were those final laps when you knew Josh Waters had gone down and the championship was yours?
It was really weird. I've never felt like that on a motorbike before. It just, like, even following Josh at the start of the race, it just felt like I was on autopilot. It was really weird. It wasn't easy by any means, but I just couldn't think of a way that it was going to go wrong for me. And then after he crashed, I sort of kept my head down for a lap or so, and then it sort of hit me. I'm like, oh, like that's it. I've won. Like all that hard work the last few years, and the team's hard work, and then I've got like 2 or 3 laps to literally just take it all in and enjoy it. It was crazy. Like I've rarely in my career won races by more than a second. It's always a pretty tight finish. So to have them few laps just to switch off and switch off going fast mode and just think about what's just happened, it was like I said, it was a fairy tale ending, and just the perfect finish to such a great time with Honda.
So Troy, plans for next year, are you staying here? Are you going overseas, or perhaps both?
Look, Kate, that's why I was trying to put you off for a few days, because I've got a lot going on at the moment, but I'm really unsure. Like I said, I want to put myself out of my comfort zone, and I think heading overseas would do that, and I just want to explore what options are out there for me. If there's none, I'm okay with that. But I just want to see what's out there, and but I'm open to the idea of racing both here or overseas. I think I'll just wait and see. I just don't know what's going to happen really. But I did promise myself I was going to do what I did at the end of this year, and regardless of how the year was going, and just see what's there for me in the future. I've still got a few good years left in me, and I just want to see what's out there, put myself out of my comfort zone, and keep enjoying riding a motorbike.
Thanks so much for joining us, Troy Herfoss. We'll hopefully be seeing you next year.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's take a look at what is kicking off the Motorcycling Australia calendar for 2024. Starting with the My Bike Motorcycling Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motor, which kicks off another exciting season with the World Superbikes at one of the best tracks on the planet, Phillip Island, for round 1 in February. We get sideways with the Australian Speedway Championship running through January, starting in North Brisbane, Queensland, and the FIM Oceania Speedway Championship in Gilman, South Australia in January. And the always thrilling Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores is back at Wonthaggi for round 1 in March. A massive year of racing awaits, so make sure you head to the website and grab your tickets. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful Christmas full of joy and jolliness, and we will be back in 2024 with plenty more moto action. Have a merry Moto Christmas. Bye.